All right. So, Karan, please have a seat. Now we're going to open the forum to the audience and to the media. Can we please stick to questions about the book? Book-related questions. I've been requested to announce that. So, and I trust we have some wonderful people here. So, fire away, guys. Farhan and Karan are right here. Does anyone want to ask a question? We have a few plants in the audience. Don't worry. Oh, Somil, yeah, he was our first one. Yeah. Okay. Right. There we go. Thank you.
Any part of the book that was your favorite, that you enjoyed writing the most?
I really liked writing the bits which were my thoughts on what's going on and what the issues are, and actually sort of building them up as like an expose, which I feel is because of all the propaganda that we have going on that people don't know enough of, and I just wanted to put that stuff in as clear a manner as possible and bring that out, and that was for me, and use the best metaphors that I could find for it. So for me, that was really the fun part, or the best part.
All right. Karan's dad is here. He would like to ask you something. Okay. Yes, he's right here. He'd like to ask you something. All right.
Okay, so what was the process? What was the most difficult part in writing this?
I'm pretty sure it was finding the time. I think was the toughest part of writing, and I had a lot of time for a long time, and suddenly it's all happening together. So it's a big premium right now. I mean, I'd love to have watched Mindhunters, but I haven't been able to even get to Netflix this year.
I'm Karan's uncle, elder brother of
You
Manju.
guys look similar.
Yeah, that's right. So within a year, Karan, a movie, a tele-series, and a web series, and of course a novel. 3 of the best genres of creative output that one can imagine. What next?
Nothing's next, just some more of the same. But of course, it all didn't happen in 1 year. I mean, there's a process. It takes a long time to actually for it to come together. I mean, the writing has been on for a couple of years, on and off. The series took about a year to write and then a year to make it. Films take a lifetime, I think.
Chalo, we are proud of you, yeah. Come on.
Thank you.
All right, we have a question. Oh, we have a lot of questions. Okay.
Hi, Kay.
Hi.
Not that I've read the book, but I just wanted to say, after you've completed the book, was it some kind of a catharsis? What was the feeling?
I really haven't had time to reflect on that yet, so I'm just sort of soaking it up right now. It is great to have finished writing a book. It's always been my childhood dream to do that. Like I have been trying to write and abandoned hundreds of books, even if there were a few lines to begin with. So it is a big moment for me personally, yes. More than, I think, making a film.
Okay, thank you.
Auntie, you want to say something? Okay, sorry. Auntie doesn't want to say anything. Okay. There's Rishi here.
Okay, so I believe we were just talking earlier, you were telling me how you spent some time in Kashmir. Is there something you'd like to share that you experienced there that the rest of us probably never will, having spent the time there, the inside edge, so to speak?
Well, when I was researching the book and I was in Kashmir, I met lots of interesting people. Like, besides the usual thing of interacting with the common folk and hanging out with them as much as possible, I also try to break into the upper echelons of political circles and people who are connected with the politics of it and who sort of have run the state, so to speak. Like, and that was amazing for me. Like that's like we kept at it. Like I went with a colleague and just trying to get information out of them in as subtle a manner. And then finally, like, we spent a couple of weeks, and finally at the end of it, it all sort of came pouring out one evening. And that really forms the core of what the philosophy is of the book, which is like the expose I was talking about, in a sense, where I just feel that, anyway. So there was many things we learned in that journey, like the kind of corruption that goes on, and the levels of that we are, you know. It's much worse.
The writing is still going on, but it'll start very soon. They are currently busy with another series as we speak. तो पहले वो हो जाए, and but it's in the wings. It is being prepared. So I mean, I would imagine at some point next year that they will start filming that. यार इस बुक पे इन्होंने खुद फिल्म नहीं बनाई, आप मुझसे पूछ रहे कि मैं फिल्म बनाना चाहूँगा क्या? हाँ अगर मौका मिले, लेकिन ये बिल्कुल सही कहा उन्होंने कि मतलब जो इस वक्त जो एक आज़ादी है क्रिएटिवली कि आप वेब सीरीज़ पे बना सकते हैं चीज़ें, वो इस वक्त फिल्म में अनफॉर्चुनेटली नहीं है. और बिल्कुल सही कहा कि ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि एक अच्छा रेटिंग सिस्टम होना चाहिए. लोगों को लगना चाहिए कि what kind of audience is suitable to watch a particular kind of film. तो होपफुली जब वैसा एक माहौल क्रिएट हो, then people will be very encouraged to make more and more stories and tell stories that have more courage, are more brave. So I do completely agree with him about this. और अगर ऐसा एक वक्त है तो मैं क्या मतलब ये खुद बनाएंगे. Hopefully I'll be producing it for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a near fictional character like Padmavati and the kind of controversy that's happening around it, which is such a non-controversy, it's nothing. It's just like, what's the big deal about something like this? And look at what's happening around us for something that happened 1,000 years ago. What will happen if we go and get into a controversial thing about a current subject?
Farhan, like he spoke about it, what is your viewpoint about the controversy that's happening about Padmavati?
Farhan, also adding to that, you know, and S. Durga, they have been pulled out by the IMD ministry. They were supposed to be screened at 15.
Right. You know, I've said this. This is not about just those two films or just about the film that you mentioned. This has happened in the past with many films, and every single time it's happened, I mean, I have spoken up very openly and said that it should not. I'm totally against anything being banned. There are films that are banned. Even people who ban the films that you all are talking about protest that why have these films been banned? So it's just like a tit for tat banning that's going on. But I genuinely believe, and I have always believed, that we should stop treating our audiences as children. You know, we should allow them to grow. We should allow them to be exposed to different kind of ideas, to countercultures, to counter thinking. It's very important for the development of any nation, you know, for there to be viewpoints that are not always agreeable by a majority. And the majority, because you're in cinema, there is no such law that exists where if a film releases, come what may, you have to go and see it. There is no such law. You have the freedom to boycott the film. You have a freedom to spread messages to tell people to boycott the film. But what you don't have is to threaten. You don't have the freedom to go and threaten somebody with grievous bodily harm, or break somebody's theatre, or cause damage in any kind of way to anyone. And that's where, unfortunately, the line has not been drawn very, very clearly enough. We as the film industry are dependent on the CBFC to tell us what is okay and what is not. We've accepted that. Beyond that, once it has been cleared by that board, I think it is up to then the government, the INB ministry and the government to protect your film and to protect the filmmakers. That's what I've always felt, and that's what I feel even about these films.
Like you branched out in, you know, direction, acting, you know, producing. Will you?
I would like you to ask him a question.
No.
This is fun.
See you as an author. Will we see you as an author?
I don't have any such plans yet of writing a book. Like he said, he's grown up with this fantasy of wanting to write a book, a dream of fantasy, no, a dream of writing a book, and he's fulfilled it. Hopefully there'll be many more to follow this, because it usually happens when you manage to do one, you somehow find the impetus to do it more and more. My dream always had been to make films, and to be a part of the film world. And I'm thoroughly grateful and fortunate for things that have come my way in that. So, no, to answer your question now.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
Obviously, after CBS, it's the responsibility of the government, of the ministry to protect films and of course filmmakers. But when the one who is doing same is IMD ministry, is the government taking the call of pulling out films, what do we do? What do artists do in that case? Where do we go?
We fight, we protest, we not take that lying down, and we stand up for our creative rights.
See, it has happened in the past. There have been films that have been banned. The filmmakers have taken it to a tribunal where then it has been cleared. It has happened. It may be painful, it may take time, but it will happen. So I mean, eventually it's important, I feel, again, for film fraternity to come together on these issues, stand together on these issues. Unfortunately, we have also ourselves to blame. We should not only keep pointing fingers at other people. There's been a lack of unity when it comes to these things. Everyone gets scared when it's their film on the line. And that's very, very unfortunate because we are working, it's a very small industry, if you think about it. There's not that many people, so if they don't come together to create an environment where they themselves can function the way that they would like to, nobody else is going to do it for them.
So Karan has a few school friends in the audience, which, oh, okay.
He's been trying to.
Right, oh, okay, come, please speak. Yeah.
Karan, as an author, have you taken a political stand with the book, or have you gone the no man's land way and just
I wouldn't call it a no man's land way, but the idea is to try and explore things from different points of view and how I interpret them. So when you have a Kashmiri Godhad on one hand and what their life is, what he's sort of going through, but of course it's all dramatized and a lot of it is my imagination. There's also a soldier and his point of view of how things are, how, it's a different kind of indoctrination that happens with the army. So it's their points of view clashing and how they sort of change and they sort of reach a common space. So that's the story in a sense. So
is there a clear stand?
well, I have a clear stand that comes out somewhere, but it's not like spelled out. You'll have to sort of find it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Karan, we have school friend.
Hi, I'm from Jamna Bay News, and I wanted to ask,
I shouldn't have given it.
Take it right back.
why is the book being launched today? I mean, being Children's Day, is it related to
Something
children?
about how we treat our audiences like children. So let's just release a controversial, nice, talking point of a book today. No special reason. Children are amazing. I've dedicated the book to my daughter. She's there's a reason if you want one.
Okay, so this is actually a question because I follow you on Instagram. You went to Cuba. Was that somewhere was that your writing space or creative space or something?
No, it was my only break that year. But you know what? There's so many things about Cuba that were amazing now that you brought it up. Like, it's on the whole censorship thing. It's supposed to be one of those countries where the world is sort of running on the American propaganda about Cuba and what they, how the citizens are being, there's so many restrictions on news and media and all of that, and the whole socialist take on things. But Cuba is nothing like that. It's a fantastic place. It's got, everyone is literate. There is zero crime. It's not, and I just find that there's a lot more freedom, not only of expression, but also just in their personal lifestyles of people, much more than India has. So it was a real eye-opener of a trip that way.
Okay, one last question. Kind of
Karan, you said that you spent time in Kashmir. So, did you learn about stories of human rights violation which have, time and again, come? They have been reported because of army. So, what's your perspective on that?
There's a lot of that perspective in the book. So I'm just gonna let you guys get a copy and find out.
Okay, there's a very special person in the audience, which I'm sure he wants to ask you something or say something. Said Saab, I have to give you the mic to just, you were our #1 plant. Okay, so yeah. Go for it.
Okay, I'm the #1 plant. Now, I've read your book, and I just want to say that besides the questions, I think are very good, very important questions, but I just found your book
an act of immense courage. And I really say that because you have taken on an issue which, given its circumstance, can be, can take on all kinds of emotional hues, and it can become jingoistic, can become all kinds of things. And you have actually plunged into it in a manner which I think is incredibly well done. And to me, it's an act of courage, because the people who read this book, I think a questioning process will start in their mind, which is also very, very important. And as you mentioned earlier, it can't be made into a film right now under these circumstances. But as a book, well, really, it's an act of courage. And Farhan, your statement, well done, really.
All right.
So one second, Alex.
Yeah,
I just
sorry.
want to say something. I just want to acknowledge Saeed Saab's immense contribution in all aspects of my life, especially about my philosophy of and take on things. He's been a true mentor throughout, and he's someone I absolutely have always looked up to. Thank you so much. And it's because of people like you and Dad and Farhan who have been supportive in so many ways of ideas that are not the norm, of trying to ruffle some feathers, stir up some things, that I am what I am. So thanks, guys.
Okay, we have a very special lady in the house who would like to just say a couple of words. Hey, Anuradha, where's your daughter? Anuradha's Karan's wife. She's here. Where is Zoe? Because the book actually starts with it's for Zoe.
Yeah.
Right? So, Zoe, what is this?
Okay, Alex.
Alright, okay, yeah.
So pressurizing her.
Not bad, eh? I tried. Okay, so we're going to wind this up. I just have this one little incident that I want to say, which you told me last night. The year was 2001 when Lagan happened to the world, and
Man.
Dil Chahta Hai also happened to the world. And there was this one award function that you were at, and you just won an award. And Karan would never do something like that. I've known him for donkey's years, but he had actually come up to you and he had told you that, Farhan, this for me is the movie of the year, and this is going to genuinely change things for the entire industry. So congratulations and well done. And do you remember any of that? All right, okay, it doesn't, but yeah, but that had happened. But I wanted to say that to you. So anyway, we have Mr. One last thing which we need to do, ma'am, please. Oh, there's one more question. Okay, last. Come.
Hi Karan, I'm from JNK only, and just curious about this, that you have been in Kashmir, and I just want to know what you have experienced which I've never heard before and wanted to put in this book but couldn't put in this book.
I mean, all the fun stuff is not there in the book. That
No, but
experience.
apart from that, I mean, which you really wanted but couldn't, that
No,
it
there
will
was. I didn't
create
hold
an
myself back at all. It's all there.
Oh.
Yeah. So please go for it.
All right. So, Reena, am I going to ask you? Even you have one more question. Are Oh, okay, from the editorial.
Hi Karan, why fact and fiction? Why not just fiction?
Yeah, I think facts are great, but they just, everyone knows what happened. Like, so my opening chapter, for example, it has Hari Singh signing over Kashmir to India in what is a 2-page document. It's amazing, this document, if you guys haven't seen it. It's just like typewritten with 2 pages, and it says I, and there's a dash. It's like Hari Singh, Maharaja, so and so. Hereby sort of giveaway dash JNK to dash India as opposed to Pakistan, and that's it. That's all that we have going as whatever, a legitimacy over Kashmir in that sense. Like, so, and when that signing happened with VP Menon there, who was the one-man instrumental in going to all the princely states and convincing their leaders to hand over their bits to India. He was there, and that's recorded history. But all of these things have loopholes. Like, you don't know who was at that point. So I've just put in, like, Nehru. What if he went, and what if that never got reported, because he wanted to make sure that his home state, comes to India, and I've fully dramatized and sort of fictionalized what might have transpired. No one really knows, right? that is the norm now. I think all biopics or anything sort of coming out, there is that whole dramatization. It just makes things more interesting and lively. But you know, I didn't feel the need to stick to like a very fact-based sort of narrative. But yeah, I mean, obviously you don't go crazy. You don't paint a picture that was completely untrue.
Okay, so Serena,
Yeah.
you have to close it up for us. Yeah.
Time for gifts. I request Vijay Thakur from our team to felicitate our guests. Thank you, Mr. Akhtar. It's an honor to have you with us. Karan, thank you for writing a courageous book. Yes. Thank you. Thanks, Alif. You've been a wonderful audience, and we thank you for being with us today. Karan is going to be present at the bookshop, and he's going to personally sign the copies, and it's the right time to grab them right after Alif finishes. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Refreshments will be served shortly. So thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you, Farhan, for being here with us, and cheers, Karan.
Cheers.